Once upon a time, our storytellers gather, bringing with them only a set of dice, a scroll of magical story elements, and a passion to create. Rolling for genre, setting in time, and character archetype, our storytellers Ethan, Ari, and Nathan weave a tale right before your very eyes. Stay a while and listen as we share our creativity in progress.
Comes at you. So you have to, it's like you have to get the timing just right. But if you get the timing right, the shield parry will deflect their beam right back at them, and you can kill them that way with like 2 or 3 shots.
Oh wow. Okay. Yes. I will be using that. Okay. So I'm sorry guys. I'm gonna have to cancel this this stream. I'm gonna have to go play now. By the way, we are live now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were live for a while actually. Hello and welcome to Zelda Breath of the Wild. Starring Ari and Nate.
Yeah, we're not going to stream it. We're just going to sit here and talk about it.
Yeah, just going to sit here and talk about it. That's all you guys need. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us as we get into the podcast Creativity in Progress. Not Zelda Breath of the Wild, although I'm sure we'll have some kind of aspects of Link and techniques on how you can use a shield to backhand a robot laser at its face and stuff like that. As always, I am your host, Ethan Murphy, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Nathan Beatty Jr. III. Nathan, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, it's nice you know how to beat that monster with his own laser beam.
Yes.
And we're joined by the even lovelier co-host, Ariana Orner. Ari, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad that I was able to teach my friend something that will help him. Defeat.
I'm actually kind of unreasonably excited about that because, like I was saying right before we started, I was getting like annoyed, and that's why I said I had to take like a 2-day break from Breath of the Wild, but now I'm like okay, I'm ready. Let's roll. Yeah,
it gets more tolerable once you realize that you can just easily defeat them if you get it down right. Mm-hmm. Because I remember just being like shit my pants scared when the laser focused.
Doesn't the game actually show you or teach you how to do that?
It teaches you how to parry, but it's one of those things where like if your play style isn't the type like mine, like I don't use the parry all that often. So if you don't use the parry all that often, you forget that it exists. You forget it's there, and then you need someone much smarter than you, like Ari, to say, hey, and I go, oh yes, mind-blowing thing.
Yeah, they gave me, as someone who's played a few hours in Bloodborne with you, I've seen your lack of commitment to the parry, so I can definitely understand it.
The parry.
Yeah.
But again, if you want to know more about how Ari teaches noobs how to play Zelda Breath of the Wild, go to her Skillshare page on Skill Shares. For those of you who's your first time to this podcast, we usually don't talk about Zelda this much. I don't think. Maybe we do. Maybe from now on we will. Usually we talk about stories, and the ones that we build ourselves from scratch, as opposed to ones that Nintendo built long before I was even born. The idea with this show, you were no, there's no reality because when Zelda first came out, I was a kid. Nate and I were like 5. You couldn't have been born then.
I never said I resemble that remark.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. That makes less sense, but it sounds more appropriate. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good Monday. It's gonna be a good Monday.
This is just how it is from now on.
Yeah.
This is my life. This is my life. I signed up for it. I can't unsign up. So the idea with this show which is now, I don't know, 10 minutes into it, and you haven't even got started it, essentially.
Yep.
This show is all about how we we build a story from the ground up by having essentially a random number generator decide what we should do. The hands of fate are fickle hands covered in warts and boils and all kinds of things, and they throw the die for us, and we abide by whatever they choose. So Nathan Beatty Jr. III, if you would do us the honors, please. We shall roll for the genre.
Okay.
Of the week.
And so how many what D am I doing?
So this week I see you have a new schematic up there. It looks very nice and very impressive.
Yeah, I decided to try the official Dungeons and Dragons dice roller from Wizards of the Coast, which looks like it was designed in 2003 and hasn't been updated since then.
Not quite. Speaking of update, I see you have the genre from last week on there as well. So it's all keeping it in the line.
Yeah. Well, you know.
So
I'll fix it.
That's all right. Why bother? At this rate,
it's one of those.
The train is off the tracks so far. It's already going down the hill.
Those are the only types of trains you know how to be an engineer for. So you know.
This is not false. This is not false at all, man. Career path.
Okay,
so it's a D8. It's 8 of them.
Okay, so we have 1 D8. Okay, let's see. 6.
Yay, 6, and 6 is adventure. Now it's very open-ended and generic, but that's what it is. Adventure. We let you do adventure.
You can do a lot with adventure.
You can literally do anything with adventure.
You can do adventures with adventure.
Yes, you can. Okay. And so that's the first one. Okay. And the next one, of course, is for setting. And the setting, my friend, as always, is still a D. Well, we'll leave it a D10. I can't remember what we did last. Yeah, I know it. Yeah. So there is one that we had in here. I'm going to go ahead and swap it out real quick without anybody knowing because I'm that good.
Yes. Don't tell anyone.
They can't see it. You guys know it. Where is it? It's right here. I'm swapping it out.
Alrighty.
Okay. So it's D10. So go ahead and do whatever you want to.
All right. Hold on. I'm clearing out last time, and then 1D10. 2.
All right. 2 and 2, my friend, is space. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we got an adventure in space. Perfect.
Space adventure. Hell yeah.
One thing I don't like about this new Wizards of the Coast one is like there's no like cool animation like there is in the Google one. But
yeah, the die. Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm feeling like we're getting slightly more accurate rolls. Like I have a feeling probably Hasbro Wizards of the Coast probably put a little bit more into their thing than Google did. Google's like, it's good enough. Okay, so
it's like, man. By the way, we are sponsored by Hasbro Wizards of the Coast. So just if you're wondering, and the last one is for the last one. We have a few more. The next one, of course, is for the time period, and it's just a D3.
Okay, D3.
D3.
Right. And it's and it's 3. So
3. Okay, perfect. 3 is future. So that actually works out really. It's future, so it works out really well.
Yeah.
Incredible.
All right. Well planned, Ari. I know you had something to do with this. I saw you rigging the system.
All my doing. I'm psychic.
Psychic. Okay. Yes. And now we're getting into archetypes. Now, every week I try to find a way to game the system, but theoretically, based on what you've done with Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast, sponsored by Skillshare, and Zelda Breath of the Wild, this should work. So, some of it might be. So now we have officially in our archetypes, we have the official number. If we're going to go that route,
okay,
it's at 2. The max we have is 289, which obviously doesn't break down that way. I'm not sure how it's going to do the die. But...
Okay, so let me do. Yeah, let me do. So I'm just going to do 3 D100s.
Okay,
that's fair.
Okay.
So let's roll 110.
Okay. Now I think that might be, let's see, 110. Have we actually had that already? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think. No, I don't. Right, we had Hermit. Is Hermit. We haven't had a Hermit, have we?
Have we had a hermit?
I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say no. I don't. Based off of it, I don't remember you drawing a Hermit type of character.
We need like an official record keeper.
Yeah, I mean, technically these stories have been.
Check out the doc after this and go through it.
I don't think we have it. We're good. We should be good though. I'm pretty sure that you guys. Okay, so we have Hermit, and you want to do it again, the same role, and see how that plays out, Nate?
All right. Okay. Similar problem we were having before, but the different set. 114.
114. Now 114 is a tyrant, and I believe we did have a tyrant before.
No, we didn't. We haven't had a tyrant.
We didn't have a tyrant. Okay.
Nope.
All right. If you say we didn't, we did then. Okay, so tyrant it is. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of something, but I was thinking of miser. I think miser.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a miser who we turned kind of into tyrant, but
we can't. Yeah, pretty much turned into a tyrant.
Explicit tyrant.
It's not the same thing. Yeah. Okay. And then lastly is the same thing. We've been rolling for 3, so one more.
175.
There you go, a little bit of distance there. Okay, 175. An orphan. Nice. We definitely have not had that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This seems like it's a pretty good setup right here.
Yeah.
An orphan, a tyrant, and a hermit. I have there's a very blatant story in my mind right there. In space adventure.
We have our villain already.
Yeah, we have our villain. This has actually been done before. This is Star Wars. The orphan is Luke. The tyrant is Vader. And the hermit is Obi-Wan in space. But anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Challenge to us 3. We cannot make it like Star Wars.
Yes.
Challenge accepted.
We're not allowed to redo Star Wars. I mean, I'd love to, but we got to be a little bit more creative.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to at least try, Nate.
Yes, and along those lines, we are not naming our main character Luke, nor are we naming the tyrant Schmader.
I am going to grab a random name generator so that we have something to fall back on.
All right.
Yes, that's a fun thing. I love that. If the random name generator did produce Luke, and then Ben, it's like, all right, we tried. We did try. All right. So just to recap things for everybody, the genre we got is adventure. The setting we're in is space. The time period is future. The archetype number 1 is hermit. Archetype number 2 is tyrant. And archetype number 3 is orphan. All right. All right, my friends. And I guess the caveat is, or the challenge that Ari has laid before us, is that we cannot do a blatant ripoff of Star Wars. We can go, half-ass ripoff like that. What was that movie we watched, Ari, for that podcast? How this get made? It was a Space Quest Galaxy.
It was Star Kill. No, it's not.
Yes, it was Star something. It was.
Something.
Oh yeah,
it had David Hasselhoff. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's literally like the worst. I've never seen Ari that mad at anything before.
I was so mad.
She was so. Bad movie.
Oh.
It was such a bad movie. Okay. All right. So, and we can get it going here. Now, one thing we can do that's fun, and we haven't talked about this that much. There's no rule in the handbook that these archetypes have to be 3 different characters. Say, for example, you could have it that the orphan grows up to become the tyrant, or I'm not saying we need to do that, but I'm just saying there's no reason we can't.
Yeah, we could combine them. I mean, you could take either the hermit or the orphan and turn it into a tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah. There's a few different things. And I guess part of what it is in a way is it does seem to be getting into motives, so to speak. So if we're going from character first, if you became an orphan, if your parents were killed Bruce Wayne style, it would do something to you. It could easily turn you into a hermit, or it could easily turn you into a tyrant.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
So if you're an orphan and your parents were killed horribly in front of your face in a space context, I'm following your typical science fiction conventions. There's probably been an invasion of some kind, or a civil war, or aliens, or our characters are the aliens. Maybe the humans invaded,
Sure,
something like that.
Yeah,
which would be, this is what I thought of immediately.
Yes. Oh, okay. So your first thought was that the aliens were us. Humans were at fault as the invaders.
Yeah, like it would be cool if humans were the ones who were, being the bad guys.
Yes.
Because the typical narrative is like the aliens are invading the Earth.
Yeah.
When it seems to me, based on not at all on current events, that perhaps we are the worst people.
God, I wonder how long we can go with that. I wonder how long we can go in 21 minutes. 21 minutes. Okay. Yes. Yes, I like that idea. Actually, I like the idea that humans are more or less the bad guy. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be all humans, but it could be that for whatever reason that at least some humans are the bad guy, and our main character could be an alien. Our main character could be an alien. Mm-hmm. So one thing that we actually could try out, we could try it out that the orphan grows up to be a tyrant because of something that happened, and we could have it the main character that fights against him is possibly a hermit. It could be the hermits don't have to be old. They could be old, but it could be something else.
The hermit could have been sort of forced into action because their hermitude has been disturbed.
Hermitude has been disturbed. I don't know if that's a word, but I like it. I like the idea of a hermit kind of like having to come out of retirement, Jeff Bridges style, because some kids blew up his lawn.
Oh yeah, Jeff Bridges, like from Tron, crossed with
Tron. Tron. Sure, we can go with Tron. I was thinking like True Grit or something, or even like Lebowski. But yeah.
Not the first one.
Yes. Okay. So I'm seeing an alien hermit that's upset because some human asshole orphan tyrant is coming, trying to take over his world.
Yeah, maybe it's like there are territories, or maybe the hermit has sort of made a home for himself on a space station, like a teeny little space station that happens to be in some territory or other that's being taken over.
Yes.
I don't want to start with parallels, but just
yes, I think it could be something as simple as we could go with the idea that it's like a resource. The whole idea that it's humans, it's Earthlings. The reason we're coming to this planet is for a resource. We're greedy as people. That's just how we are. It could either be that we want, water, or something is, like we want food, or we want land, property. It could be anything, but it's some kind of a resource that we want, and that's where we're going to this planet.
Like for your own good, we are taking over.
Oof, you're getting real political. For your own good, we are taking over. It's like, wow, thanks.
Myself.
Yeah. We can do that if you want to. Yeah. So yeah, what would be? Yeah, that's fine then. And that's where the hermit actually exists. The hermit is the hermit himself lives in this area. He's doing his thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I think one thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Just from a design standpoint, how do you think these aliens should look like?
Well, because we were going with the idea of him being a hermit, my first thought was some kind of like a turtle-ish looking.
Oh. Ooh.
you can go cute with the turtle also, so it can be old and crappy and still kind of cute. But that was my first thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, sure. I'll work with that.
All right. Now, we could also get a little further into this as far as two wrongs don't make a right, that something at this planet of, let's call them, turtle people for right now. Somehow, these turtle people possibly did something to the Earthlings forever ago that did contribute to the death of our tyrant character. So part of this is motivated by him. Part of him going to this planet is motivated by it's prejudice. He wants revenge on those that he believes, obviously left him an orphan. We could go that route. We don't have to necessarily. He could just be evil, just because he's by himself. But it could be kind of tied in some way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. If he has a personal vendetta, I think our tyrant is like, doesn't want people to think that's why he's doing it. Yeah. He wants to be like, oh no, we're doing this for your own good. Like, we're sweet and wonderful and just trying to help. But internally he's like, oh, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah, that could be the whole idea. It's veiled under the idea of, we need this resource. This is a very important resource. And it's something, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
And in reality, it really has nothing to do with that. It's pretty much he just wants to kill these creatures. And now he has the opportunity to do so because of this resource, maybe. Okay. And even if we wanted to go further into it, if the Hermit's old enough, the Hermit could be old enough to have been around when our tyrant character's parents were killed, or this invasion or something that happened to harm the Earth that did in fact kill the tyrant's parents. He doesn't know them personally, wasn't involved, but
because if he's old and cranky, maybe he's a hermit for a reason, and that reason is that he was caught up in the same kind of battle or something.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking the same. I was thinking towards Iroh. I know, and we're staying away from Star Wars. I was thinking like with Iroh from Avatar. The idea is that I know Nate hasn't seen Iroh, so I'll quickly go into it. It's just an idea where the character was basically a warlord, and then he suffers the loss of his son, or a tragedy, more or less, and because of that, he obviously shuts down and gets away from that kind of stuff. It could be something similar here, where our Hermit character possibly was involved in an invasion against Earth, or had something to do with the war where Earth also took part in. It could be an intergalactic battle. It wasn't just against a planet, but a whole bunch of things were a massive war taking place. Not a Star War, but a war was taking place. And the Hermit suffered a loss, and he said, I'm done with this stuff, and retreated to his own planet and just kind of sat there forever in that regard. Just spitballing ideas out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, then. Okay, so we have a bit of a framework here. Now, the next thing would be, so we're in space. Do we want to get a little bit and have a little bit of fun with the world building? So I'm guessing we are in the future. We're in space. We're mainly dealing with spaceships, right? Like actual.
Oh yeah, I was thinking I don't know. I was thinking like have you seen Titan AE?
Of course, with Matt Damon.
Yeah. Animated Matt Damon.
Yes.
Damon. Yeah. The sort of the cohabitation and space stuff. And like crossed over with maybe Eve, like the online video game. MMO RPG.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Okay. I do like the idea too of having technology that's kind of able to do things like, for example, our Hermit character could have a AI like a Siri that basically like Vision or Paul Bettany in the MCU. That's kind of
like a Jarvis.
Tries to talk to him like a Jarvis. Yeah, that's his name. Sorry, Jarvis. That tries to talk to him, but he's such a crotchety old bastard. He's not really trying to have it. But it obviously serves as kind of comic relief.
Living alone and stuff, so he buys a artificial intelligence to help him.
Right, and it's kind of serves as a foil. Kind of calls him out in his stuff because he needs someone. We need a character to kind of bounce ideas off of the Hermit to kind of reveal some things about him. So, all right. So I'm just saying that the background of the story is that there was some kind of a war fought, not a Star War, some kind of a war fought. There were losses on both sides.
Just disclaimer all the time.
Yes. And our Hermit character retreated back to his own home planet. And on his own home planet, he has a device that's acts like his, we'll call it just his Jarvis, basically.
Now, would we, and forgive me if you guys connected this, but would there be a so I understand that the big war is probably going to is going to cause the loss of the parents. Is that going to be a reveal at the end, or is that going to be something like something that's presented? Like part of me thinks that it almost should be presented almost immediately, that that this person was a part of it, and maybe it's a reveal to the tyrant later. Like, I don't know. I'm spitballing.
So no. So yeah, my first thought was that the story, I guess the cold open to some extent, is showing this war on some level. And
yeah, I think the cold open should be the carnage that leads to all of this happening. But like, we don't. I think we should, because we've already done I think it was with the fairy tale story where we had a reveal, but I don't think the reveal is technically necessary here.
So no, I don't think it is either. I think what it is, I think the reveal is the idea that we think this tyrant character is more or less kind of a good guy or a soldier. They were kind of, because he's human. You got to remember that too. We are partial because he is a human. So as we do it, as we see the way the story opens, we see humans dying in this war. We see this character become an orphan, and we're like, okay, by that alone, we're going to empathize with him. And actually, we could even, if we did a dissolve, we see him as a 8-year-old watching his parents die, and then kind of cut to him growing up to become a person, a grown man, essentially, or a woman, whatever. It's an adult. We're already on that person's side.
We could have it be where. I don't know, the circumstances align where the hermit character meets the tyrant and thinks, like, because we're with the hermit at this point, right? We're like, his story is the one that we're focused on. So the hermit meets the tyrant, and the tyrant presents themselves as someone who just wants to help. Maybe it's the tyrant, like, just going undercover for some reason to sort of scope out what he's going to deal with. And they have like a conversation, and then it becomes clear to the hermit that this human is not a good person.
Now there's a couple of things. I really, really like the idea that you had where it starts off small. Obviously, it starts off big with a war, and then it gets really small. We cut to our main character, our character, human. I'm not sure we haven't dealt with as far as gender, any of that kind of stuff yet. Just our human, and maybe that's the idea. Maybe it should almost be androgynous. Maybe that's part of it. The story we don't know exactly what this human is, more or less. It's almost mysterious on purpose. That our human character does go. He's there seemingly a peacekeeper. That's how they present themselves. They seem very together, and they seem like a person who tries above all else to prevent bloodshed because they saw their parents die, right? And there's some orders to pretty much, I don't know, do something to the area where the hermit is living, and they say, let me try talking to them and try reasoning with them, all these things, presenting themselves like a good being. And so one of our early scenes is just between the two of them talking. It could even be where they actually go inside and they sit down. And we actually have it's a pretty good conversation, a one-on-one conversation between the two of them. And we could actually have it that on the surface, it does seem like the hermit, because he is being very crotchety and very stubborn. He's an old turtle, like the turtle from Neverending Story. He's like, go away, and sneezing in his face and everything. And it seems like, and then the tyrant is like, okay, I tried my best, I couldn't reason, kind of thing. And so we're seeing, we do get a chance to actually have them meet face to face. And we could even reveal on some level, we could actually have it said, like, both of them explain, and that, I mean, not full-blown exposition dumps, but they both say that they suffered the loss of family members on the day of, we call it, D Space Day, for the war, more or less. And one of them, the Hermit, presents himself as like, I lost everything, therefore I've chosen to stay where I am. And the Tyrant's like, I've lost everything, therefore I've chosen to do as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And it seems that the one is more in the right than the other. And as the story goes on, you realize that's the actual reveal, is that the Tyrant is manipulative. He's working. She's deliberately trying to incite another war, basically, to destroy this planet. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the Hermit has to find a way to keep peace for the planet before it gets destroyed again. Mm-hmm. That could be their end goals, more or less.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Sure.
From point A to point Z, we'll have to figure out how to get to point Z, but that could be the idea. So, real quick, now this is something we talked about last time. We weren't going to get too far in the details, but the idea of how the characters look, for Ari's sake and for just Nate and I's pleasure, because we're trying to do more of an androgynous, maybe even, I don't know, not officially non-binary, but maybe whatever character here for a human tyrant type. What is something you're seeing for them, this appearance-wise?
Well, so on the one hand, you know me, I love villains.
I do too. Very much so.
I am always up for having diversity and everywhere. But like having a non-binary character be the tyrant, when the only, I don't know, I'm not sure.
How about this? How about instead of non-binary, we just have actually a very attractive male that looks almost so pretty, like a pretty male. He's clearly still a male. He can be straight as hell, but just very pretty. The idea is he seems like a chosen one. That's the idea. He looks.
Okay, so like this extremely attractive person, like kind of like a light Yagami type.
Yes, exactly like that, or even like the idea is of kind of the white savior. We're kind of subverting the white savior trope.
Right.
If we're doubling down, we can double down then. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
We don't have to. It's just if we're gonna go that route.
I don't want to be like, because I want more non-binary androgynous characters, but I just feel like if we're gonna have a villain, we gotta also have a type of character like that in the good guy side. But we've already kind of decided on the Hermit.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Hermit, they're an alien. So from our perspective, we don't even ever need to know what their gender is. That could literally be why they have it technically could make them non-binary or what have, because we never need to establish their gender. That could be part of the almost a runner in the story where the humans like, so I'm sorry, we have a problem defining your gender. What are you? I mean, something like that, and they don't, and they refuse to even give it up. So by that principle alone, almost like Schrodinger's cat principles, it's non-binary.
Okay.
I even like.
Sorry, Nate,
I was just gonna say I even like the idea of there being like a when the tyrant's about to have a conversation and they're like okay, your name, age, sex,
yes,
and he makes like an offhanded like, God damn you humans, or you Homo sapien centric whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I produce asexually, all right, or whatever.
right, exactly. He's literally just so defiant to everything. He's being so contrarian to every answer that no information he gives or she or whatever it gives is helpful. So in the end, you can't tell who or what he is. And it could be at the very end of the story where someone pretty much blatantly asks, like, it could be a friend or someone actually asks, like, so as a runner again, like, so what is your name? And he's like, oh, I'm Pat. Or something like that. As far as like, okay, well, that didn't help. That still didn't help. So,
I love how you did the deep cut of Saturday Night Live on that one. I do appreciate you.
I did.
My glasses raised to you, sir.
But it's a fun little thing. So we can essentially have her kicking it too. We can go that route.
Okay,
And
cool.
also even the light the light Yagame for Nate. I know Nate, man. I know what that means. So there's a character you've heard of, Death Note. I'm sure we've mentioned to you before, right?
We have talked about Death Note possibly.
Yeah, we have. Okay, but so Light Yagame in that series is the main character, and he comes across very much as he is the golden boy. Everyone loves him. He's literally like one of the smartest kids in all of the nation and everything else. He's essentially seems perfect on the outside, but he ends up being a raging homicidal maniac that has a god complex beyond compare. Mm-hmm. And the idea is this character, he's a tyrant. This character seems very much akin to that. So if we're going that route, that's why I see why Ari went to. That was the first pull she did.
I mean, I love characters like that. So yes,
yes,
please.
Yeah. And I love characters like the Hermit, someone that's quick-witted as far as also it serves well for them to be complete opposites. The Hermit characters are old, Yoda-esque, angry. I mean, you can make them.
Yeah. The contrast is important.
Contrast is important. Right. Okay. All right. Sorry, I know we got into the weeds as far as development. That's how it usually works. So usually the first episode is about building the world and the characters, that kind of stuff, more so than getting too far into the plot. It's about that kind of stuff. So, I actually like that a lot as far as a story opening, mainly with actually seeing in a quiet, intimate setting the two characters having a long conversation. And it could be something too where during their conversation we do see glimpses of who they really are, where we kind of see a little bit of the tyrant showing a little bit as he's interviewing because they're talking about they are almost enemies in some sense. There was a war in the past, and as they're having a conversation, it's pretty much like they're using subtle jabs at each other, not full blown racial epitaphs, but slight kind of ones, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that made me think of the one of the most ridiculous scenes in the Wild Wild West with Will Smith and
yes,
what's his name?
Kenneth
Branagh, yeah. And Kenneth Branagh is just like straight up racist name after racist name, and Will Smith is like, making fun of the fact that he can't walk. And it's just like it's just one of those scenes where it definitely couldn't, like, today. But like,
no, yeah, definitely.
But even like back in the 90s, it was a little like, whoa, guys, really? Okay.
Yeah, because also the idea with that movie too was just like, so you're saying that it's you're comparing either race to a handicap as far as saying that works fine, or you're saying that if you are a bad person, it's okay to make fun of you if you are a crippled. I don't know who wrote this. But they do need to get fired.
Yeah, it was bad choice. Bad choices all around. So that for some reason that just made me think of that scene when you said
you're
that.
Absolutely, yes, you're 100% right, and that's kind of the idea too. It could be very much, it escalates. It could be little jabs at first, and it gets bigger. And obviously, you can have it that both of them are still kind of keeping a smile on their face while they're doing it. And because what we're doing, we are setting up these two are going to be our, this is the biggest confrontation, or this is our two opposing sides. So it's so I like that idea a lot.
One interesting thing that I like about that idea is that it can be done in such a way where that there's tension there. Like, obviously there's tension, but the audience doesn't necessarily know why, and the things that they're saying to each other are like don't necessarily make sense to the audience. But there's like a weight behind it, and then through the rest of the story, it's revealed that that comment referred to that, and that's why that.
Yes,
I like that idea. Like I realize that's in the weeds, but I think
no,
definitely a way to handle those kinds of scenes. It's really interesting.
Yes, I think one thing, as we talked about before, is actually talking about to the race of the Hermit. Now, do we want to have a name for their race? Call them the Pats or the Turtles or something like that.
The Pats, not the Pats.
Not the Pats.
Call them like the turtles or something like that.
Okay, well, just for that, let's call them the turtles from now. Call them the turtles. So the idea is
like
have it
maybe a
yes, it's a quick little shorthand for right now, but we could have it that's kind of along the lines as to how they don't like being referred to as turtles. They've come to know what turtles are, and they don't like being referred to as turtles. It's a demeaning to them, and so we could have it that our character keeps making little jabs as far as like, oh, your shell looks so rough. It's like, this isn't a shell, it's a house. Oh, my apologies, or you seem a little slow. I'm not slow. Can you do martial arts? Are you ninja turtle? Are you turtles? Like, little deliberate things, and it keeps going on through there. And then in return, our hermit character could obviously mention, like, as far as like your hair is so pretty. Do you shampoo it? Or like continually doing things that if our orphan character is in fact a tyrant, and he realizes that he is somewhat of he's more malicious than he seems on the surface, hitting his pride as far as making him seem weak. Obviously, it's a good way to go. So the two of them pretty much do get each other's numbers pretty early on, and that's in the context of the film, and that comes across in that one scene.
Right.
Off of that.
I like the idea of, so our tyrant character is very like charismatic, affable, kind on the surface, but I like the idea of like, once the hermit starts disagreeing with him, then he starts being kind of an asshole.
Yes.
Because he's not getting through the way that he usually does.
Yes.
And that pisses him off.
Right. It does. And I think we still can't officially, like, he can't have a breakdown. He can't like start screaming and whining and that kind of stuff. We can definitely see the cracks. Yes, he's very, very subtle, but it's still clearly there. It's still clearly happening, and it's one of those things too where it's evident to us, the audience. It's evident to our turtle friend. We can call him the knockoff Yoda, whatever to call him, but no one else is there. Is present. I guess the computer, the AI system, his Siri's there, but no one else is witnessing this. So no one else is privy to this information except us, basically. And so, as the tyrant character, like you said, there isn't as much of a reveal that he is going to be the bad guy this time. We're not doing that again, but we almost learn very quickly on that's what's happening. That's the battle line's been somewhat drawn in some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that idea a lot, actually, because it's very much like, again, Light versus L, when the two of them sit down to have conversations where it is like, oh, we know what's happening here. Another Death Note reference. Maybe.
You both know that you're an asshole.
Yes, but we both know. Okay, so I'm just putting the notes here. So we open with the intergalactic battle. Several races suffer major losses. A young boy watches his parents. War. And if the hermit character, more or less a general or some kind of a soldier, all right. Sorry, I'm typing so much here.
That's fine. Sorry, I'm messing with mixer brushes.
As well, you should.
Kinda. I've created the world, and I've the planet. I don't even know which planet it is. It could be the Tyrant's planet. It could be the Turtle's planet. It could be. It could be. I don't know, somewhere else. But and then also, and I was trying to make it like, oh, that's right. There's lighting exists. I need to figure that out. Otherwise, it would just be a black hole.
I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that light exists.
You're getting philosophical. I like this. Ooh, baby. Because you could say that as far as in our world, in today's society, is there any true light? Is there any true hope? Or it could just mean that you are visually impaired. Let's see here.
Is there a sun? I don't know. Is there air?
Is there air? Am I alive? Am I breathing? Okay. Turtle. All right. So after now again, I feel like ultimately what our light Yagami, I'm just calling him light to keep it simple. What our light character wanted was
doing that. Call him, okay, you have to call him Lucas now because that means light.
So okay. So if we're gonna call him Lucas, that's still, I mean, that was rule number 1, I believe. But all right, fine, I'll call him Lucas.
Hey, it's already endorsed. I can't.
Fair.
The name Lucas or is light. It's literally light. So you gotta.
Fine. I'll play your reindeer games. So Lucas, but I'm spelling it with a K if we're gonna do that game. At least L-U-K.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So Lucas, Ari, the whole reason he did this, he wanted the turtle not to comply, but he wanted to seem like he was trying to negotiate with them, to curry favor more with the rest of the military, and to manipulate them that much more. That was his plan all along. He knew the turtle was going to be defiant and everything else. So as he leaves the alcove that this turtle is secluded in, he has a little sinister smile on his face as he goes back, and he tells the rest of the people in the military, as far as, oh no, I couldn't get it to work. I tried my best, but he just wouldn't listen to reason. He was just staying there, and he wouldn't move. He wouldn't, so on and so forth. And then the series tells the turtle character, well, now that you've put a stick in the ground, they're going to come out. They're going to retaliate. They're going to do something about this. They won't let us just stay here. What are we going to do? How are we going to fight them off? What's going to happen here? And we could either go with actually having it be not Home Alone, but something where the turtle is defending his home.
Oh my God.
No, I know that's ridiculous, but I mean,
I like the idea, just the visual of paint cans hitting Daniel Stern in the face, just kind of flashed in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually like that idea. Like maybe having it be like that this turtle has to essentially get the locals together and be like, okay, we got to, kind of like that one episode. I realize we're not supposed to do in Star Wars, but that one episode of Mandalorian where he gets that town together and is like, all right, we got to defend this and we got to do it with bamboo. Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I like a combination of, I'm sorry, my words, I don't know how to word my ability to speak as particular. Like combination of that episode with Princess Mononoke, where it's kind of just, have you seen that film, Nate?
I'm not sure.
You mean it's the 4th episode?
I mean, yeah, it's basically the main character of that film is up against some crazy odds and recruits some help from the forest. It's a great movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
It's basically like that. You have this single character who has the means to. Well, it's not exactly a single character with it. Whatever. Anyway, yes, it's basically that episode, The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So if I'm understanding you correctly, Ari, you're saying as opposed to the turtle Hermit going to his neighbors and saying, "Hey, help me fight them," he might actually say, "Hey, forest spirits or whatnot," because it is an alien, and this is an adventure, obviously too. But he's an alien, and he's like, "Hey, forest beings or whatnot, help me battle off these Earthlings from our planet, these flesh, these pink-skinned bodies off our planet, so to speak." And so that's kind of how he recruits them to help him do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Since it's in space and not exactly an an environmentalist message necessarily, but it could be that he's just really freaking good at technology.
Yeah.
So, you know, create or outfit allies with some tech, and his AI does too.
Yes, his Siri, Jarvis, whatever we named her. It. Yes. Yeah. I also I'd like to point out I like this a lot where this story went because it found its way bizarrely quick at the end there. As far as like the idea is, Hermit seemingly, like you said at the very beginning, actually, Hermit having to be called into action even though he didn't want to, and what called him into action was this asshole tyrant, and the asshole tyrant all along wanted to fight this guy. And as to why they're fighting, we don't even have that established necessarily yet, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the idea that the two of them are going to war with each other, basically. It's the turtle, and I guess he's the planet and all of his technology, all the things he has. And again, he was in this intergalactic battle in the very beginning. He was a general himself. He has lots of wealth of experience in battles. He's basically a Yoda, so to speak. So if you came to the Dagobah system trying to take down Yoda, you'd have some opposition. That's the way to think about this. And our tyrant character is basically, I know Peter Cushing or whatnot. I know Star Wars, but you get the idea.
I like how we tried to avoid Star Wars in almost every way, and we've just basically just been like Star Wars.
Failed miserably. But yeah, that's what it's come down to. So I like that a lot, actually. I like that a lot. And so it is one versus many. And the one is our turtle / Yoda character, and the many is the manipulative Lucas tyrant character. Okay, I'm making a few more notes, and we're actually almost out of time too, which is perfect. Okay.
I also like. I think in this probably can be saved for next week, but I think one of the things we can do maybe is, like you said, like one of the things is like one against the many. I think it would be interesting to have it where like maybe there's another character thrown in some ways that's reluctant to help, that just is pissed at the turtle because he's just like, if you had just done what they said, we wouldn't have had to deal with this. You know what? I'm getting the hell out of here. And then having this group come back in the final fight. And again, as I say that, Millennium Falcon, end of Star Wars. But I think but I think that's tropey enough that it's not, like as long as it's not somebody flying in on a spaceship, I think we'll be fine.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, from Lord of the Rings, like the last second help that arrived is so nice and satisfying.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's amazing.
Oh God! Well, I think in one of the best recent examples that I can think of is Endgame, where where you're just like oh they're like how the hell are they gonna get out of this, and then you hear Falcon coming through on the thing, and it's just like
on your left. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like you're just ready to jump out of the goddamn chair,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it. One last thing, and I'll be done.
Cool. I honestly cannot wait for Ethan's reaction. Because
I can't either.
Holy sweet Jesus.
It was some iterations at first, but I think this is going to be okay.
All right.
I want a freaking action figure of that character. Like, now.
I'll get right on that for you.
Good job. Awesome.
Right. Two sides, and I'm going to do a quick recap. And I'm also going to go ahead and watch Princess Mononoke tonight.
Oh, dude. Well,
it's on. It was on. Yeah, it's on HBO Max. Because all Miyazaki's on there. I don't have HBO Max.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, or if you don't remember watching it, Nate, you should, because it's just really, really good.
Oh, check it out.
It is not child friendly.
No, don't. Yeah, most animes don't. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we're all good. We're all set here.
Just in case.
Don't watch the peanut. Not peanut. I'm sorry, nugget in French fry. I'm sorry, I haven't had much sleep, mate. Nugget in French fry. Okay, so we're all good here. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick recap for everybody.
Okay.
Let's see here. So the genre was adventure. Setting was space. Time was future. Archetype number 1 was Hermit. Archetype number 2 was Tyrant. Archetype number 3 was Orphan. Orphan. Right. We open with a big intergalactic battle. Several races suffer major losses. A young kid watches his parents die in the war. An old turtle general watches his son die. We cut to several years in the future, and our orphan Earthling is now a high-ranking negotiator in the military, and the turtle is now a miserable hermit living alone. The charismatic negotiating tyrant goes to the hermit's home to seemingly broker an agreement. The tyrant and the hermit sit down and have a very thinly veiled hostile conversation with lots of barbs thrown. As the tyrant leaves, war is basically declared between the two sides, the hermit and the planet, versus the tyrant and his army. And that's where we're leaving off, which sets us up perfectly for Act 2, more or less, because Act 2 would be the actual battle, and then Act 3 would be the resolution of that.
Yeah.
So. All right. Awesome. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add to that story that I may have missed or whatnot?
No, I think that's good from my perspective.
All right.
Yeah, we can definitely focus a little bit more on story next episode, but I think with the setup we have, it's gonna go. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
I think it'll be fun too. It will be because it may get a little Home Alone. That's perfect. And I'll go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my favorite part of the show. I should have. Oh, the character looks beautiful. Oh no, it's beautiful. Oh no, he does look like Gamork. I'm sorry. What's the turtle's name, Nate, in Neverending Story?
Oh,
I remember his actual name though. But he looks like
Morla.
Morla, yes.
Yeah.
He looks like Morla. He looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. He looks adorable. Oh no!
I want you to see. Let me show you real quick because you mentioned Uncle Iroh. So I gave. This was before we decided that they, didn't really do gender. So I was like, I should probably get rid of the hair.
So. I really, really, really genuinely need to keep that for Ipswich, for my own book, as a race creature. I genuinely need that one saved, please.
All right.
I'll send you a reminder to get that one. Okay. So do you want to go ahead and describe it we've kind of gone into it a little bit for the audience, but do you want to describe it yourself or what you've created?
Okay, well, it's, sort of a cross between like a Morla from a Neverending Story and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but like old and a little bit wrinkly.
Mm-hmm.
And adorable. Generally adorable.
And adorable.
And I want an action figure.
It's the cutest thing. I need one. Oh my!
Do you see what I mean though? Like I'm like
yeah.
Oh God. When I looked up in the middle, because I saw it in the middle of the episode, because I looked up at my screen and I was like, and I had to stop myself because you were in the middle of saying something. I stopped myself from going, "Holy shit, that's awesome!"
That's why I don't look. That's why I never ever look during the middle. I refuse because it'll throw me off like crazy. Oh, it's perfect. That is my favorite draw. I know. I don't know why this is my favorite thing you've drawn in this show so far. He's so cute. Look at his little face. Wow. His mouth. Oh, that's perfect. All right, we're gonna gush over this forever. Thank you so much for coming to the show. We're gonna have this. I know we've been putting off forever. We are definitely going to have Ari's artwork available for you to see on Instagram and everywhere else. We are working on that. We are sorry for the delays continually. I promise you it is worth the wait. It is all Nate's fault. I don't know how, but it is. But we will get it to you very, very soon. In the meantime, thank you again so very, very much for coming to the show. We know that it's been a very bizarre and trying time in the world right now. There's been all kinds of upheaval and some good, some bad, some all over the place. We always want and hope that this show gives you a little bit of escapism. It gives you some solace, and it helps you kind of, if nothing else, it teaches you the value of arts and storytelling, because there's all kinds of messages that you can get out of stories that sometimes evade us, sometimes elude us when we're so narrow-minded in the real world. So, Nathan, Ari, is there anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to put in the send-off?
Stay safe. Be kind. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Right on. Absolutely.
Yes, that's the one of my favorite comedians, Patton Oswalt. His late wife had a saying that he put out in one of his routines, which is it's chaos, be kind, and and yeah, I'm all about that. It's chaos, be kind. So.
Yeah,
absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, from all of us here at the CIP, we thank you for your time, and we'll see you back here next week.
All right. I'll take care.
Hell yeah.
Cute.